Hello and welcome to CLEA'S World. I'm Clea Necchiarico, and today I would like to share with you more of the information I've received from the 25th dimension during my last QHHT hypnosis session. But before we move forward, I'd like to ask you to please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. And please do leave me a comment because I read all of them, I reply to all of them, and I love connecting with you guys and see where you guys are at with everything. We're going through some very emotionally challenging times, and it does help to have community and to talk about these things. And I'm always eager to see how this stuff resonates with you. All right, so let's move forward. When I refer to Carolyn, I'm talking about my hypnotist asking me the questions. And when I say me, I'm referring to myself under hypnosis, which means the answers are coming from the 25th dimension. Very well. Carolyn, Michael Newton, in his book, Journey of Souls, which I've referred to before, so just to make sure that you're familiar who Michael Newton is. Michael Newton says that we have guides who have their own guides, who have their own guides. Is this true, or is it our higher selves who we think of as our guides? Me. It's a very 3D way of looking at things. And who he attracts is 3D people who are starting to question, wanting to open up a little bit more. So they need some kind of orderly answer and hierarchy and all of that. So that is very surface, obviously. That's not really what's happening. We are all equal. We don't have to do, when we think that we're connecting to our guides, it's really our higher self. We have all the knowledge already. We don't need to go outside. We don't need to go to anybody else to know stuff or to be told stuff. Carolyn, so why did you decide to directly connect to Clea when there are many people that I put under hypnosis that they definitely go through past life regressions before we go to higher self, to you? Why in Clea's instance, do we immediately connect to you? Me. Because she understands that time is not real. So it would have been pretty funny for her she would have rejected it. She would have said, what is this? I mean, you're wasting my time. And so Clea is very impatient and she's very direct when she intends something. And she has always wanted the truth. And it's also one of the reasons oh my goodness. And it's also one of the reasons she's here as a light worker, because this is her job. That's why she's trying to remember. She's supposed to remember so she can tell others. And this is why we tell her, because she doesn't care what we tell her. Carolyn, she must go straight to the point, laughing. She was laughing. Me, exactly. The reason I bring this up is because whatever you want to believe is what we brought to you, what you will become aware of. In fact, there are other videos, I believe it was 2 or 3 videos ago, I made a video where I mentioned some psychics, no names given, obviously, because that's not the point of my videos or any of my information to throw anybody under the bus. We all, have our own individual life paths. So we all experience things differently, and it's all equal and there's no judgment. But there are some psychics that, even though some are infiltrated, because of course there's light and dark playing in that arena, spiritual arena, as well as in general 3D. But there are psychics who actually have access to higher information, to the truth, to source, but they then filter it through their ego minds to where they color the information they get to match what they believe. So the point here, and the reason why I left this piece in, even though it seems to refer to me just on the surface, but I think it refers to a lot of different people, is that if you don't really care what you get and you are impartial to the information, in the sense you just want to know what's going on, you're not going to run into a lot of the snags that a lot of these gurus out there get into. And I realize a lot of them get kind of trapped in these, because once you start channeling, I don't know, an alien, it's hard to pull back, especially if you have 100,000, 200,000, or who knows how many hundreds of thousands of followers. Hard to pull back and say, by the way, I have a different view of reality now. So you kind of like put yourself in a corner. However, if you don't care, because again, you're just after the truth, you will get it. So never doubt that your intention means everything. All right, let's continue. Carolyn, does astrology matter on this planet? Me. Astrology is interesting because it was another rule that was entered, and it wasn't necessarily, it's not a rule of the dark or a rule of the light, but it was something that was very interesting to many people. So that's why it's hung around for a very long time. So does it matter? Yeah, for a lot of people, if you believe in it, it will definitely matter. When you start believing in Mercury retrograde, oh my gosh, all your stuff will break down. But who's breaking all the stuff really? You're breaking it down because you believe that. So yeah, if you want to believe in it, absolutely. Carolyn, so it has no influence though. If you don't believe it has influence. Me, that's an idea that's not for you. Carolyn, yes, thank you. And so if I didn't have my heart, I'm sorry, if I didn't have my chart read and it didn't influence my life, then it's not going to influence my life. Whereas someone already has the chart and they've read it and they go, oh my gosh, all this and this, it really still won't matter to me because if I don't believe it, it's not so. Me, laughing. You could be a Taurus that behaves like a Scorpio. There are no two Tauruses that are alike. And somehow we think we can predict people's personality and behavior. Carolyn, laughing. I so love the humor. How does Michael Newton's cosmology fit in with what you told us about the 25th dimension and the matrix? Me, it really doesn't. It's an order of things. It's almost like another game rule that was given to some. He wanted to believe that. He attracted people for whom this would work. It's very much a 3D experience. It's a way to start opening up. Remember, it's a stepping ladder. We go through different steps to get where we need to go. It's not a negative thing. And for many people, it will help them question and find some higher calling, whatever that might be. But it's just not part of it's not real. It's just not how it works. It works that way for these people, just like there are people who believe in hell, that if you regress them, they would remember being in hell or being in lives where they risked going to hell. There's even talk that some people have to pretend that hell is being recreated for them. Otherwise, it's too tragic. They don't believe it. And then they have to be shown that no, there is no hell in the afterlife. I mean, there's all kinds of stories out there. Bottom line, if you believe something, you create your reality, whether you're embodied or not. So even in between lives, between what we consider to be lives, of course, you're always alive. Whatever you want to believe. If you believe in Michael Newton stuff, that's what you will experience when you move on. Carolyn. So probably the number one question that Clea was asking through all of this is, do we have the choice to go immediately to another life from a life? Or is there a period of rest where we go to the 25th and we reflect on what we've done as a soul, as an incarnation, as someone, as a being? Me. You don't have to go back to the 25th, no. So you can go from one to the other, or you can stay disembodied in the matrix. You'll be in the matrix, basically your energy body. And you can be where, for example, on a lot of planets where people don't have bodies. Or you can be somewhere else. Maybe you can go rest somewhere and be a cloud. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to go back to the 25th to rest. When we say go back to the 25th to rest, we mean you truly mean to be outside of the matrix for a long period of time. You really want to recompose yourself or just not play for a while. If you're just looking to change experience, like when we leave New Earth and we decide that we want to go to Andromeda, for example, we could just leave and go to Andromeda. And maybe on Andromeda, the way that they believe their children come in is through birth, so that you go through that particular process. Or maybe you go to Andromeda and become somebody's pet. You can do whatever you want, but you don't have to go back to the 25th. You don't have to wait any particular length of time to re-embody if that's what you want to do. But we often do not re-embody right away, but it's just a choice to try something different. Carolyn, are there really guardians? Me. It's our higher selves. What we consider as guardians is all our higher selves together, which is really, we're all one. It's our energy, right? It's really from the 25th. This is why it feels like it's a collective or a group, but it's not. When we think of guardians, we think as people, a bunch of people. There is no, and they were laughing, there is no people. It's our team, but it's always all from the 25th dimension. It's our connection. Carolyn. So truly, Michael Newton, this hierarchy that has to be described or that he has described, it does not exist. We are the hierarchy, me. I mean, it exists for the people that believe in it, but no, it's not the ultimate truth. It's not the truth of how things actually work behind the scenes. Carolyn. So he also says that souls leave children all the time up to the age of 5 or 6, after which they tend to stay with the child more permanently. Is that true? Me. No, we leave all the time, all the time, all the time. Now, we might stay here a little bit longer because unfortunately our attention is requested more here if you have to finish a project or something. Maybe you are more attentive. A child doesn't need to focus on anything here, so they're always gone. So in that sense, yes. I mean, a child there could be more leisure for a soul to come and go. But we could be adults where, we're artists and we don't have to focus necessarily in the way you would focus as an accountant, and therefore your essence could be gone. But even as an accountant, your essence could be gone all the time. Maybe you're bored. You do numbers without even thinking about it. So your essence doesn't need to stick around. So no, it's not, there is no such rule. If an essence wants to be here, what about if a child, if an essence wants to try this life for only 3 years? Then it's going to be with the child, with this body until 3 years, and then something is going to happen. So no, the soul always decides what it wants to do. There is no generalization. Carolyn. And so there's no, because we do come and go, because we are in this body a very short period of time during the day. There is no correlation between childhood trauma and the soul not being present in the child body, thinking that the intellect is not able to discern through the trauma while the soul is gone.
Me. Trauma is a misunderstanding, and we set ourselves up to them because of the rules here. We set ourselves up in a way where we justify what we're going to experience, what we want to experience. There is no, this doesn't happen just because there is no essence. So the essence could be there, and you could still have what we call trauma, which again is a misinterpretation of a situation. But the misinterpretation is needed because you're setting yourself up for certain experiences. You are. Carolyn. Yes, whether you're in that body or out of the body, you've already made that decision. Me. Yes, that is correct. Now, of course, we live in a very imbalanced world, and therefore a lot of situations are not ideal. And obviously, this will cause more trauma than in other cases. But again, while this shouldn't be happening, a lot of stuff shouldn't be happening, it is the soul's choice to be in that particular body. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.